I took a train to Choa Chu Kang MRT station, and from there I took bus 925, which brings me now to Sungei Buloh. Now ahead of me you can see the big reservoir, the Kranji Reservoir, and on the left here you can see the sluice gate that leads to the reservoir. This one is a car park, so you can see some of the cars parked here. And on weekdays, bus 925 will stop at this bus stop here, and it goes back. So now I'm making my way to the Sungei Buloh Wetland Reserve. I'm at the side gate of Sungei Buloh Wetland Reserve, and I'm now entering to the wetlands. So you can see the signboard here, it says Sungei Buloh Wetland Reserve, and this path will lead me to the office. So I continue my walk. It's a very nice path, flat and even, and ahead of me I could see the white flowers, the Costus specious. Now here there are some trees where you can see the nests of the weaver birds. This particular tree here has a lot of nests hanging down from the branches. This is the nest of the weaver bird. As you can see, there are some very nice flowers over here, purple in color. And at this time of the day, it's a bit cooling here because the sun is hiding behind the clouds, so the weather is quite cool here. Now in front of me you can see the big pond, and I'm going across the bridge that goes over the pond. Now this is another tree with a lot of fruits, round red colored fruits. You can see the lake here. I'm going over the bridge to head to the office. You can see some white flowers here, and also the ceiling wax palm with the typical red color in the stem. So I'm now reaching the part near the office, and on my right here you can see some very beautiful flowers, the bunga kantan. Now this flower, especially the bud, is used for cooking curries and used in Chinese rojak. Very beautiful flowers. There are some bicycles parked here. Ahead of me you can see a tree with very beautiful orange flowers. This is a Cordia Sebastiana. So a lot of beautiful flowers here, orange, and they grow in bunches. This is the Cordia Sebastiana. So Sungei Buloh is a nice place, a lot of trees, vegetation. Right ahead of me you can see the straits of Johor with the tall buildings on the Johor coastline. And the notice here says no fishing, watch out for crocodiles, stay clear of the water's edge. You can hear the sound of the waves lapping on the shore. And right in front there's a very tall structure, brown in color. That is a lookout tower. So this is a very interesting place. It's called the Little Heron Deck. I'm right in the midst of the forest. Although it's hot outside, the temperature is a bit cooling because of the tall trees. These tall trees here provide very good shade. So I'm walking along the coastline here, and I can see the tall buildings on the Johor coastline just opposite. So this is a very interesting place The sky is getting dark, the clouds are very dark, and ahead of me is the lookout tower. Sungei Buloh has some very nice lookout towers built in the shape of it looks like something like a bird nest. So here is the coastal area. You can see the brick wall here. So I continue my walk along the coastline of Sungei Buloh. The trees here are rather tall, at least 50 meters tall. And it's very quiet at this time. Here you can see some very beautiful purple flowers, Melastoma malabathoricum, and next to it is the Nilenia safraticosa. So this place has a lot of beautiful flowers, many tall trees, and I'm walking along the path beside the coastline. I'm on the boardwalk that goes towards the straits of Johor, and here I could see some visitors here. It's high tide at the moment. The water is coming up and they cover parts of the stems of the mangrove trees. You can see the shells climbing up the tree trunk to escape the water. This part is very windy. You can feel the wind blowing across the ears. The straits of Johor is here, and there are some kelongs on the sea. Beyond that is the Johor coastline. I could see the Sultana Hospital, the red coloured building, Danga Bay Lido Beach, and also the Orang Asli village. So right in front you can see the lookout tower. This one is a low one at street level, a very low lookout tower. You can see the straits of Johor and the building on the coastline on the other side of Malaysia. So here I continue my journey on the boardwalk. On the left I could see some very beautiful mangrove trees. These mangrove trees thrive in salt water, and they're able to live in the midst of salt water. The wind is very strong, although the sky is getting darker and darker. So you can see the signboard here that says watch out for crocodiles, stay clear of the water's edge. So occasionally you may be able to see a crocodile lurking in the bushes. So this place is a bit dangerous because the crocodiles might come to the beach, and if you are too near to them, you may have to run for your life. Now sometimes I could see the monitor lizard in the water swimming here, but these monitor lizards are no match for the crocodiles. The crocodile has very strong jaws and is able to snap at the monitor lizard. So they feed actually on fish, monitor lizard and other small creatures. So all along this path here you can see minor mangrove flora. Quite interesting. The wood of the mangrove cannonball, Xylocarpus granatum, was used to build boats and houses. Some of these mangrove trees have very nice fruits, round and brown in color. So the water is quite high now, covering part of the stems of trees. But surprisingly, these trees are able to thrive in the salt water. Here you can see a very beautiful plant with green leaves, serrated edges and some white flowers. This is a plant that belongs to the Acanthus family. You can see the water coming in. where the trunks are partially covered, and the path here is very level with green lines on both sides. There's also a small wooden fencing to tell visitors to keep off the water's edge because there may be crocodiles lurking in the water, especially at high tide. This part is quite beautiful, the boardwalk, some mangrove trees, and this is the sea, the straits of Johor. Over there you can see the tall buildings on the Johor coastline. Some very tall skyscrapers, 20 stories and above. So at high tide, part of the trees are covered, even the branches are partially covered. We see some young couples coming here to take photographs, and also the lookout shelter that looks like a bird nest. I'm walking up the steps. These are quite steep, and this will bring me to the lookout tower, the brown lookout tower. This tower looks like a bird nest, and from here you can see the mangrove trees below. This is called the Kingfisher Pond. I'm going down the steps. Very interesting place, but the water looks a bit greenish, so it doesn't look very clean. You can see a lot of dead leaves in the water. So here is, you can see the lookout tower with all the stone pillars. This is quite a solid structure. It must have cost quite a lot for Parks to build this. So a lot of mangrove trees. Some are bearing flowers, some do not bear flowers. So this is one where you can see some yellow flowers. Looks like the Avicennia family. So there are several lookout towers here. Some are quite high. This one is at level ground. So from here you may not be able to see much. And here is another mangrove tree. Very interesting, with a red tip. Right here you can see the seedling, and all these, when they drop into the sea, will soon become a new plant. Alright, you can see all the red tips around here. The tip of the branch is a red leaf. So continue my walk along the boardwalk. Very interesting place, although the weather is hot at this time. Here again you can see the plant with green leaves, white flowers, Acanthus family. Very beautiful flowers. Next to the end of the first part of Sungei Buloh, and right in front of me you can see a car park. There are about 10 cars, motorcycles parked here. And I'm going to walk forward towards the older part of Sungei Buloh. Now this older part was built long ago, before the newer part was added. So I'm walking towards the older part of Sungei Buloh after crossing the car park. So I walk from the Kranji Reservoir Park, cross over to Kranji Way, then right into the newer part of Sungei Buloh, and I'm walking towards the wetland center near to Sungei Buloh Besar. Now the other part is the older part of Sungei Buloh, and it says here the opening hours are from 7 AM to 7 PM daily. So here's the entry to the wetland center. I'm in the midst of the jungle. A nice footpath, rather quiet except for the image of a bird. Which bird species is the oldest recorded at Sungei Buloh Wetland Reserve? Answer: common red shank, 20 years 2 months old. So this boardwalk here is quite far from the coast. It's quite level and nice to walk. So here you have a lot of tall trees and a lot of bird watchers. They came here to look at the birds using your zoom lens. I'm now quite near to the office. Right in front of me there's a squirrel scampering up the tree. I'm coming now to the office of the old Sungei Buloh. So this is the older part of Sungei Buloh Wetland Reserve. A wooden bridge, and formerly there was a cafe down there. I'm not sure whether it's still there. Here you can see the ferns. Sungei Buloh Wetland Reserve. Now the older part of Sungei Buloh is closed for renovation, so visitors are not allowed to enter. This is the toilet, the mural. So I'm taking a short break at the toilet here. The notice here says caution, tree branches may fall, do not enter during bad weather. So this is another boardwalk at the old Sungei Buloh. The main gate is closed for renovation, so I'm going by the side gate here. And visitors are supposed to keep within a path between the yellow lines that has been built across the river. And in the background you can see the straits of Johor and the tall buildings on the Johor coastline. There are some boats near the Johor side. So I continue my walk along this new bridge. The old bridge has been closed. You can see the old bridge on the left side there is closed for renovation. And here I'm using the new bridge to reach the older part of Sungei Buloh. This is a very big river, and sometimes you can see the crocodiles swimming in the water around here. Alright, the new bridge leads me across to the other side of the old Sungei Buloh, and here you can see some shelters for bird watchers. So this is the new bridge, not opened many months ago, that goes across the river. So I continue my walk here. I'm walking towards the newer part of Sungei Buloh. Coming towards the part near to the office, I could see some students here. They came here maybe to visit the place and to study the flora and fauna of this place. Right in front of me you can see a monitor lizard. This one is about 2 meters long. It's basking in the sun. Right, it appears to be sleeping, but it is not threatening. It has 4 legs and each leg has 5 fingers. They are very long fingernails. I suppose it's used to capture and tear the prey apart. So this animal eats frogs, fish, and even dead bodies of animals. Right, quite a large monitor lizard. The skin is black with some white spots. The eyes are glaring white. It has a very long tail. This is a park with a small pond and a small river. You can hear the rumbling of water. Here the question is, which is the largest shorebird recorded at Sungei Buloh? Answer, Far Eastern Curlew, 62 cm. There's a notice that says, caution wet floor, 小心地滑. The boardwalk is quite level and it looks quite well done. The ground is level, so you can even push a wheelchair over here. On both sides I see the mangrove trees. There's a bird nest fern here. Still high tide and the water is coming in. Here you can see the leaves partly eaten by insects, full of holes. Here you can see the nipa palm, and this nipa palm bears big fruit, brown in color, and inside you can get a lot of seeds. This is called the atep seed and is used in our ice kacang. The beach here is quite sandy. The water is clean, but it's not safe to swim here because there may be crocodiles lurking in the bushes. So although it's a sandy beach, visitors are advised not to swim around here. Here you can see the mangrove tree with a lot of roots hanging down from the branches. So what is typical of a mangrove tree? Where all the branches hang down from all the roots hang down from the branches. This is another part of the beach that is quite dirty. All the debris from the waves coming in. So a lot of rubbish came here from the Johor rivers. During high tide, the Jetson flotsam came across the Johor straits and they land at the beach here at Sungei Buloh. You see plastic containers, plastic pails, coconut shells, wooden beams, all kinds of rubbish. Here you can see a tall fig tree with all the roots coming down from the branches. This tree is very old, and next to it is a small little hut built by ant pucks with a rope bridge for children to walk across. You can see the small little huts here with a rope bridge connecting the two huts. Now Sungei Buloh is rather quiet on weekdays, Monday to Friday, but if you come here on Saturdays, Sundays or public holidays, you can expect to see a big crowd of visitors. Parents, children, and the noise of the children can be deafening. But however, we take it in a good spirit. Children are supposed to run and shout. It's part of their growing up, so accept the noise from the children. It says butterflies of the reserve caterpillars go through a natural process known as metamorphosis, after which they become butterflies or moths. Before its big metamorphosis into a butterfly or moth, a caterpillar can consume as much as 27,000 times its weight. So I continue my walk towards the lake, and further up I will come to the office. I'm now near the end of the trail, coming towards the lake, and this is quite a small little lake here with some flowers, and there's a palm tree growing inside the water. You can also see the tall aquatic plants, the Tifa angustifolia, and here are some pandan leaves, the ferns, and some stones for people to walk. So this is the gallery, the museum, and you can hear the noise of birds. So I'm back to the office here where I started. The Wetland Center Forest Trail is on my left, And on the right, I'm coming to the gallery and the museum. This is the museum and the gallery, where you can see a lot of pictures of birds. It's all in the leaf, cut the salt. And that leaf outlasts Lorembam soneratia cassiolaris. This one has red and white flowers. The fruit is green with a long protrusion at the bottom. Very interesting place. You can see the pictures of the mudskipper, the horseshoe crab. And here there's a map, wetlands in a city, Sungei Buloh Wetland Reserve. This place is aircon, so you don't feel the heat because the aircon is quite strong.